Wrestling fans, I'm Ted Stevens, here with another West 4 Wrestling Alliance NWA action-packed card. Let's get down to the first match right now. Wrestling fans, this bout, 20-minute time limit, or one fall. Introducing the contestants of this match. First of all, in the corner to my right, from Fort Lauderdale, weighing in at 280 pounds, Mike St. James. Mike St. James. His tag team partner from Boston, weighing in at 245 pounds, Derrick Starfire Dukes. Derrick Starfire Dukes. Their opponents this evening from New York, weighing in at 245 pounds, one half of the tag team called the Terminators. This one known as the Rig. The Rig. His tag team partner tonight from Siberia, weighing in at 295 pounds, the Russian Krusher. This tag team accompanied by their manager, Eddie Sharkey. Referee for this match, Wayne Bremner. Now let's go down to ringside.
Right here, bringing you the greatest professional wrestlers from the NWA. I'm George Schire, along with Mick Karch, and we have in the ring, Eddie Sharkey seems to be dictating what he wants. We're waiting for the signal for the bell. Rig the Terminator putting his hands on the referee early in this one. He's got to watch that, he'll be disqualified. Referee trying to get the order.
Seems to be a little mix-up about who's going to be in whose corner. We're all set to go. The Russian Krusher and Terminator Rig in against the big fella, Mike St. James, and his partner, the very flashy Derrick Starfire Dukes. This one is going to be a barn burner, to be sure. It is anytime you get Rig the Terminator in there. Obviously you can hear that. That sounds like a siren as the Russian Krusher. Whoa! Terminator Rig let Mike St. James have a forearm on the ropes, and Mike St. James eager to oblige and return the favor, and that's enough for Rig right now. The Russian Krusher tagged into the ring.
You know, having Eddie Sharkey at ringside, Mick, is like having three men on the team. Rig and Russian Krusher are awesome by themselves. They should force Eddie Sharkey to sit in a chair. Now he's up on the ring apron.
Look at this. The man has, what is he doing up on the ring apron? Athletic commissions and officials are going to have to take a long, long look at what Eddie Sharkey does at the ring. Like I've said before, you'd like an Eddie Sharkey who calls himself the playboy, the sportsman, the man about town. He's like a housefly. He buzzes around and drives you crazy, and you just want to swat him.
Well, he is anything but a sportsman. He'll interfere any chance he gets. You have to watch Eddie Sharkey at all times. Oh, look at this Russian Krusher.
When the Russian Krusher turns it on, he is one of the most awesome forces in wrestling. Mike St. James hauled off the ropes. Sort of a semi-beel there, took him down to the canvas. The boots, the Russian boots, right across the eyes and nose of Mike St. James. And the big fella, 280 pounds, Mike, is in big trouble right now.
The big news, August 27th, the Winnipeg Arena King Kong Brody signed against Bulldog Bob Brown. The match of the century signed by promoter Tony Condello. And fans, you'll see rock and roll zoom off on that card. Then on the 28th at the Keystone Center in Brandon, more West 4 Wrestling.
Russian Krusher with that big forearm. That sickle took him down to the canvas. Couldn't quite keep big Mike St. James down. You know, alluding to that match between Bulldog Bob Brown, the Central States champion, and Bruiser King Kong Brody, I would advise the officials in that building nail down the chairs and the tables and anything else, because it is going to be World War III. And now Sharkey again. What is the man doing on the ring apron? Sit down, stay off the ropes, Sharkey. You don't belong up there.
He gets up there, distracts the referee. Just enough time for his man to do the damage.
A little moral support for the Russian Krusher as the comrade bails out, heads for the safety of the ropes.
I said it earlier and I'll say it again. They should give him a chair to sit in or get him out of the building. Rig the Terminator coming in now.
Mick Karch and George Schire with you at ringside. As always, the action is just tremendous. Presented by West 4 Wrestling in the NWA. Derrick Starfire Dukes, he is a good one. Watch for him. Oh, what a shoulder block. Sends Rig the Terminator sprawling. He ducked that one. Here comes Dukes. Oh, and another crunching shoulder block. The Terminator is in big trouble. And Sharkey looks very upset by the proceedings. Oh, my word.
Eddie Sharkey giving us the sign of satisfaction here, giving us a little verbal blast at our table. You mind your business, we'll mind ours, Mr. Sharkey.
Eddie Sharkey figuring that he has to do commentary along with us here at ringside. We'll call it the way we see it. A high, oh! Tremendous suplex by Rig the Terminator. Derrick Dukes is barely moving on the mat. Mike St. James takes a boot at Eddie Sharkey. That's more out of frustration than anything else. Who can blame him? Dukes is in big trouble in the ring. There's Rig. Working on that neck. He is really applying the pressure. You can feel that from here.
And Mick, can you imagine what's going to happen when King Kong Bruiser Brody invades Canada, continues his war with Bulldog Brown?
I'll tell you something, if the fans don't come out to see that one, I can't urge you strongly enough if you've never seen a wrestling match live and in person, or should I say a war, that's the one you want to see. August 27th at the Winnipeg Arena, Brody and Brown.
And the tickets are available at the select-a-seat locations. Get them early.
In the meantime, in the ring, we've got mass destruction being inflicted upon Derrick Dukes by the Russian Krusher, and Terminator Rig. Off the ropes he goes. Oh, there's a combination hip lock power slam. Count of two. I see you were ready with the bell there, George. I thought it was over.
I thought we almost had the match right there.
Eddie Sharkey very, very pleased with the way his proteges are working in the ring right now.
This Krusher, what is he, about 6'6", something like that? He is just an awesome-looking individual. They got Starfire Dukes in the corner, Rig the Terminator holding him.
And look at Mr. Sharkey. Our camera hasn't picked him up yet, but Eddie Sharkey is also holding Derrick Dukes, holding his foot. Get the man out of there.
The referee totally unaware of any of this going on.
Duke had no way that he could get out of the corner. His leg was trapped by Eddie Sharkey.
This young man is taking a beating. Starfire Dukes is an outstanding professional, and he is taking a beating in there.
Terminator Rig, like he's trying to stomp out a forest fire, continuing to work on Derrick Starfire Dukes. And look at this, Eddie Sharkey again holding him, for crying out loud, referee. The Russian Krusher, the self-proclaimed nuclear warhead from the Soviet Union, in the ring now. Dukes is up, Dukes is down. Oh my word, that's got to be lights out. It is.
Eddie Sharkey coming in to congratulate his men. The action's not over, though, Mick.
It's not over, as now Rig and Krusher decide that Mike St. James, look at that cheap shot. This man calls himself a sportsman? Come on. Wait a minute. Ace Bandit and Ricky Rice, the high rollers, in the ring. Oh!
I don't think we've ever seen Eddie Sharkey move so fast.
Eddie Sharkey, Terminator Rig, and the big Russian Krusher. Look at this, now they're spitting. Oh, that's real good sportsmanship. They didn't want to stay in the ring and fight, but they're great at spitting.
Obviously some challenges.
Your winner with a pinfall, one half of the Terminators, the Rig, and his partner, the Russian Krusher, against Derrick Starfire Dukes and Mike St. James. More action coming up.
August 27th, Winnipeg Arena. August 28th, Brandon Keystone Center. Now, we're going to be there, but there's a few things I'd like to mention. First of all, the lack of respect I've been receiving from the fans. You know, it's far, far better to be feared than loved. We are there to win money. Our business is destroying opponents, and any way that we can do it, we're going to do it. They've been calling me Worm, they've been calling me names. I want to be called Mr. Sharkey. I believe I deserve that. I've earned that respect. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're absolutely right, Mr. Sharkey. And one other thing we want to be done, we want everyone to stand up and be quiet when the Russian anthem is being played. All right? You understand that? And quit calling him a worm. He's not a worm. He's our manager. He's the best manager in professional wrestling. It costs us a lot of money to get him. And then when I tell you people to stand up and give a little respect for my hurt partner, you stand up and you shut up for a few minutes. You hear that? And Miami Vice, when we come to get you, hey, you're in trouble because we're going to do nothing but deliver pain.
All right, that's it. August 27th, Winnipeg Arena. August 28th, Brandon Keystone Center. And let's have some respect.
Here we go, wrestling fans. 15-minute time limit or one fall. Introducing the contestants of this event. First of all, introducing the man I know nothing about. I don't know where he comes from. I don't know how much he weighs. The only thing I know for sure is he's known as the Outpatient. The Outpatient. His opponent this evening from Honolulu, Hawaii, weighing in at 230 pounds, the rock and roller, rock and roll Buck Zumhoff. Referee for this match, Dave Gobo. 15-minute time limit or one fall. Let's go down to ringside.
Well, ringside we are, rock and roll Zumhoff. And I don't know what to call his opponent. Man, looks like he's from an asylum someplace, Mick. The Outpatient.
Well, I've seen the Outpatient many, many times. I've seen him come into the ring and do a dance. I've seen him talk to a French fry. I've seen him do a lot of things, none of them logical. And now he's in the ring with the former light heavyweight champion of the world, Buck Rock and Roll Zumhoff. No easy task for the Outpatient.
A lot of credit has to go to Buck Zumhoff in this one, the rock and roller. He has been in this business for a few years, but he knows the tricks. As you said, light heavyweight champion. And what was that?
I'm not quite sure, but you never know what's going on in the ring with the Outpatient. He's talking to the cameraman. He's talking to everybody. Pay attention to business. You're in there with one of the best in Buck Rock and Roll Zumhoff. In behind with that full Nelson.
Asking the Outpatient if he wants to give up. I think it's too early for that.
Well, he's flexing somewhat of a physique there. He did break the hold. He is a powerful man. Give the devil his due there.
Well, I think the Outpatient is totally incoherent about 90% of the time in that ring. And if I was Buck Zumhoff, I'd be on guard at all times.
Buck Zumhoff, we remind you, will be at the Winnipeg Arena August 27th, part of that big card, headlined by Bruiser King Kong Brody and Bulldog Bob Brown. What a war that's going to be. Tickets available at the Select-A-Seat locations. And don't forget, too, August 28th, Keystone Center in Brandon. A tremendous wrestling card there, too. And Zumhoff obviously getting worked up, ready for those dates because he's got the Outpatient in a world of trouble right now.
That King Kong Brody match versus Bulldog Bob Brown, I think that's going to be the biggest match in Canada. They want each other bad, and it's going to be standing room only. So get your tickets, select a seat locations, get them early.
I can't imagine those two going in the ring. I'm talking about Brody and Brown and applying a scientific wrestling hold. I think you're going to find it's Katie bar the door right from the opening bell.
Well, they're going to be outside the ring. They're going to be in the ring. They may be out in the parking lot.
Oh, the outpatient was daring Mr. Zumhoff to apply a full Nelson. Zumhoff instead leveled him with a drop kick all the way across the ring into the turnbuckle. He is ready to go, the rock and roller. Turning it on right now. Oh, he dug that mask right into the eyes of the outpatient, who is now outside the ring. He doesn't know. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The outpatient has taken a seat among the fans.
He probably doesn't know where he is.
All of a sudden, he thinks he's a spectator. He's done nothing but complain about how he's being hurt. That's professional wrestling, buddy. If you don't like it, find another line of work.
Buck Zumhoff giving him every chance to get back into the ring. Kind of eyeing each other up now. And they hook up. Headlock.
Referee in close asking the rock and roller if he wants to call it a night. I don't think so. Not the former light heavyweight champion of the world. He's got a lot of moves.
I think he could win that title back anytime he wanted to, man.
I agree with you. He is a great one. He is a great one. Trying to power out now of the side headlock held by the outpatient. He's doing it. Well, not quite.
It'll take a lot more than a headlock to stop rock and roll Zumhoff.
He's going to try to power out of this one. The outpatient trying to hang in there. Zumhoff, nope. Not quite. Not quite. The outpatient a little too strong for the rock and roller. You're talking about, I would guess, and I say guess because the outpatient doesn't tell anybody what he weighs, at least a 60 to 70 pound weight differential in that ring right now.
Buck Zumhoff is used to that, though. During his career, he has wrestled many an opponent that are much bigger than he is.
And again, the outpatient maintaining the side headlock. Might have grabbed a little bit of hair there. The rock and roller having trouble getting out of this one. There's a fist to the forehead. The referee warns him. He's right on top of it. The outpatient apparently doesn't care. He's not hiding anything. He's just breaking the rules.
You know, we've talked a lot about that August 27th date at the Winnipeg Arena. We don't want the fans to forget either. August 28th at Keystone Center in Brandon, another all-star card.
Oh, the rock and roller clipped him right to the jaw that time, and the outpatient is on Dizzy Avenue. Off the ropes. Oh! Oh, he gave the outpatient a little too much breathing room, and now the rock star is paying the price. Oh. George, I don't have to tell you.
Well, I tell you what, Mr. Zumhoff is going to be a sore man.
Has enough to power out before the count of one.
The man's not doing any wrestling at all. He's just kicking and stomping.
Well, we did see a headlock out of him earlier, and now he's going to work on the leg of Buck Rock and Roll Zumhoff.
Well, this is probably the closest thing you're going to get to a wrestling move out of the outpatient. I don't think he knows any. I don't think he's ever seen a rule book. I don't know if he can read one.
I don't know what planet he came from, but he's giving Rock and Roll Zumhoff all he can handle in the ring right now. Rock and Roll moving from side to side in the ring, trying to twist and turn his way out of it, and he did. A nice move by Rock and Roll Zumhoff. Gets to his feet now, trying to get some feeling back in the leg. Stalked by the outpatient. A forearm by Zumhoff, and now the outpatient fires back with one of his own. And another.
That has to hurt. Buck Zumhoff in a little trouble here right now. And, of course, the outpatient, I think, realizing that there's a weak spot here in the leg, going after it again on Buck Zumhoff. I wouldn't give the guy that much credit before, but he's obviously showing us that he does know a little bit of wrestling here.
You can't really tell whether the man is feeling pain or not. That mask covers up all his facial expressions. Definitely an advantage in that ring, and a lot of times it can be disconcerting to an opponent who decides to work on the mask rather than attend to the business at hand.
And Buck Zumhoff is always thinking he's a step ahead of you all the time. He got out of that leg hold and...
There's 2 forearms. And a heel across the ring, the outpatient. In trouble, Buck Zumhoff, whoa!
He missed that one. He missed it. That hurt him.
The outpatient saw it coming.
Buck Zumhoff in a little bit of pain, I would think.
Well, I think he's in a lot of pain. George, he landed right on the back of his head on that canvas. And now the outpatient. Oh, why don't you telegraph it, pal? There's a count of 1, 2,
and it's all over.
The outpatient might as well have sent Rock and Roll Zumhoff a letter.
I was telling you earlier about Zumhoff being ahead of the game. He telegraphed that one, and the outpatient has got the losing end in this battle.
Wrestling fans, stand by for an exciting interview involving the outpatient and promoter Tony Candello.
Wrestling fans, August 27th, Winnipeg Arena, August 28th, Brandon Keystone Center, contract already signed. Rock and Roll Buck Zumhoff to meet the outpatient. Outpatient?
That's right. Buck Zumhoff, people want to know what goes on in my mind. I'm going to show you. This right here. People in Selkirk, you know what I'm talking about. This is it. This is all about it. This is special code. Buck Zumhoff, you're going to look just like this when we're done with you. Be there, August 27th.
Don't miss the action. August 27th, Winnipeg Arena. August 28th, Keystone Center in Brandon. More action coming up.
Wrestling fans, right now we're going to take a look at the violent incident between Chris Markoff and the master of the martial arts, Rick Ferrassi.
This is your second attempt at seeing this young man in action here, Mick.
Good heavens. Oh, this is unbelievable. Oh.
I get sore just watching him.
How would you like to meet this fella in a dark alley some night?
Well, definitely as a friend, let me tell you.
Elbows, hands, feet, you name it, he's breaking boards. Incredible.
The guy's awesome.
Oh.
There's a one-man wrecking crew in that ring.
A tremendous demonstration by Rick Ferrassi, ladies
1 minute,
and
10 seconds.
Just a moment.
Wait a minute
ladies
here.
and gentlemen. Chris Markoff. Wait just a second, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Markoff.
He pulled brass knuckles out of his truck.
What in the world is this man thinking of?
Made an appearance and he's left.
I can't believe what I've just seen. Rick Ferrassi just doing a tremendous demonstration of martial arts technique here by breaking boards everywhere in the ring. Chris Markoff, the Russian, out of nowhere and for no apparent reason, attacking Rick Ferrassi, who is now being held back by two of the attendants in the ring. He is absolutely furious, and I don't blame him. Somebody hold on to him.
Wrestling fans, don't go away. A special interview coming up. Here I am in this secluded area in the middle of nowhere, where I seem to have found martial arts expert Rick Ferrassi in action, training for the big match coming up at the Winnipeg Arena, August the 27th. I'm going to try and get his attention. I know he's training very hard. Chris Markoff on his mind as he works out to his intensity. And wrestling fans, if I could just try and get a few words with Rick Ferrassi, martial arts expert, about this upcoming match. I'm sorry to disturb you, Rick. Yeah. Mosquitoes out here and dragonflies and everything. How can you put up with this?
That's being one with nature. Markoff, I'm training really, really hard for this, because I know what you're capable of doing. You came into the ring and you give me a shot. All the wrestling fans saw it. You had no business doing it. Now I'm coming for you. I don't care how much you pay judges or referees or anything like that. It doesn't matter. I'm coming after you, and you alone. Nothing's going to stop me, because I'm going to win, and that's how it's going to go down.
It wasn't right, Rick. You were putting on your first theatrical martial arts demonstration, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, Chris Markoff coming out. August the 27th, wrestling fans, I cannot stress strongly enough to get those tickets. Run, don't walk. Winnipeg Arena, August 27th. Don't miss it. Wrestling fans, let's go back to the Winnipeg Arena and take a look at what happened in a recent wrestling match. First of all, introducing in the corner to my right, from Pigeon Forge, Kentucky, weighing in at 285 pounds, Cousin Junior. His opponent this evening from Kansas City, weighing in at 252 pounds, the Central State Champion, Bulldog Bob Brown. Referee Dave Coble. Let's go to ringside.
Bulldog Bob Brown, the Central States Champion, in there with a very unique individual, as you can see right now, Cousin Junior.
You know, Mick, Cousin Junior calls his style of wrestling scuffling. And you call it what you will, but this man is successful. He's popular. And he's in there against Bulldog Bob Brown.
Cousin Junior has headlined Madison Square Garden. He's headlined arenas all over the world. And look at this. He's on his hands and knees barking at the Bulldog, who has backed into the turnbuckle right above our microphone. A little befuddled by all this. He looks like a mailman escaping a pit bull right now.
You never underestimate Bulldog Bob Brown. Cousin Junior showing us a little bit of his
how do you do?
Pigeon Forge, Kentucky. Where is Pigeon Forge, Kentucky?
Well, actually, it's Pigeon Forge, and whether it's Forge or Fork, your guess is as good as mine. Mr. Brown in for the ride. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
And, of course, Mr. Bulldog Bob Brown, his only concern here is to stay healthy, because he has some scores to settle with King Kong Brody in the month of August, the 27th of August to be exact.
We've just been told by Bulldog Bob Brown not to talk about King Kong Bruiser Brody, who he will meet here August 27th at the Winnipeg Arena. I don't blame him for not wanting to talk about King Kong Brody. It could be the longest night of his life.
Well, they've waged battles all over the United States, and now they're bringing it into Canada. And they just plain don't like each other.
That's putting it mildly.
And, of course, Bruiser Brody, he's going to be watching what Cousin Junior can do here.
Would you say that's frustration on the part of Bulldog Bob Brown? Apparently he's decided that the ringside floor is better turf, better territory than the middle of the ring. Cousin Junior?
We got a little hoedown here, I think.
Right on the head of Bulldog Bob Brown.
Bulldog Bob Brown, the Central States heavyweight champion. The kids love Cousin Junior. The adults love Cousin Junior. He is one popular figure. I kind of laugh at his attire. Got that hanky or whatever it is hanging out of his back pocket.
I certainly hope he has a closet full of those overalls, George, and that isn't the only pair that he owns. Mr. Brown is not very well in the test of strength. Oh! Barefoot or not, I think you just heard about 10 knuckles pop. And there's a little, well, whatever you want to call it, a little greeting for Mr. Brown.
After that stomp on the fingers by Cousin Junior, Bulldog may be drinking through a straw.
Wait a minute, there's a chokehold. The referee can't see it, but we can right above our microphone. The Bulldog doing what a veteran does, shielding it from the referee. And Cousin Junior is turning beet red. That is a blatant chokehold. I believe the referee he has caught it. He's calling for the break.
This is the Bulldog Bob Brown that we've all come to know and love.
Yeah, right.
Kicking the man in the head.
Out of the ring and in trouble.
He's coming out right above us here.
Uh-oh, right above us. Right by our microphone.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Wait a minute. Oh, onto the ring apron. Right alongside of us here. Bulldog Bob Brown with a boot to the midsection of Cousin Junior. Continuing to work on Cousin Junior. Hammering away on the outside of the ring. Referee tells the Bulldog, get back in the ring. Keep the action in the squared circle. Cousin Junior right behind our microphone now. He took a pounding out here on the arena floor.
I have the feeling, though, Cousin Junior is going to become a little irritated, and you're going to see that hillbilly temper.
Uh-oh. That was in the throat. That was a karate chop. No question about that. The referee didn't see it. Had he seen it, Mr. Brown would be taking an early shower.
Those are just some of the tactics that King Kong Brody has to look out for. Hey,
wait a minute.
I thought I saw something in his hands. He does. It appears he has some sort of an object on his fist.
He's got his hand alongside his body. The referee hasn't seen it yet, but Cousin Junior went down like he was hit by a boulder. As Bulldog Bob Brown, methodical, taking his time, apparently figuring that he has Cousin Junior ready to be had.
He's going to use it again, it appears. Oh, man.
Turns the referee around again.
Hiding him in his trunks. The referee now checking the fist.
Well, the referee didn't see anything because the crafty, wily Bulldog Bob Brown has that object well hidden as he continues to work on Cousin Junior with a boot to the head.
Those are some of the tactics that King Kong Brody has to look out for, but we need not remind you that Brody is no angel or saint in that ring.
Look at the punishment being inflicted by Bulldog Bob Brown on Cousin Junior. And the favorite from Pigeon Forge is in deep, deep trouble as the Bulldog stomps on the fingers.
Now he's biting him. He's biting him on the forehead.
Boy, you talk about a bulldog, a pit bull, a caged animal. That's what you have when Bulldog Bob Brown, the Central States champion, is in that ring.
Oh, man. Kicking him right over the ropes, right out of the ring onto the floor. And Bulldog Bob Brown going out.
Onto the apron.
No.
What is he doing? He's got the staircase.
Oh.
The man picked up the staircase, the ring stairs, and pounded Cousin Junior to the back. You know, George, I've seen Cousin Junior in action for a couple of years now. This is probably the worst beating I think I've ever seen him take.
He's out here on the floor and getting up very slowly. but then you'd expect that after being introduced to a set of steps. The count is on there for Cousin Junior, the fans encouraging him. And Cousin Junior, here he comes. Look at this, Mick.
He was met by Bulldog Bob Brown as he came under the ring ropes. Oh! Look at the expression on the face of Cousin Junior. He is furious in that ring right now. And the Bulldog. Oh, come on. He's telling the referee to watch the fist. Cousin Junior unloading right now. Here we go. He's got the Bulldog rocking and reeling right now all the way across the ring into that turnbuckle. The ring moved 2 feet on that one. Those heavy chops across the chest, and the Bulldog is in deep trouble. Cousin Junior ready for the kill.
I think getting hit with those steps was about the last straw there for Cousin Junior. Little merry-go-round here. Oh, no. Oh.
Right into the referee. He was leveled.
Look at Bulldog Brown here, Mick. Again, over the top rope now.
Right over the top onto the floor, and he's on top of the referee on the floor. He's got the breast knuckles again. You saw he tucked them right into his trunks. The referee is still out. He's still dazed on the floor. He took a heavy shot from both men.
Bulldog Brown down for a nap here. Oh, no.
There's that big splash for crying out loud.
Here comes another referee.
This is the second referee. And a count of 3, that's it. The second referee came into the ring and counted the pin. The first official knocked out on the floor. Wait a minute. What's going on here now? Oh, no, wait a minute. What in the world is going on here?
We'll try and get the official decision. It appears the referee says that Cousin Junior.
It's being explained to the ring announcer right now. Your guess is as good as ours. It appears that Cousin Junior was disqualified for throwing Bulldog Bob Brown over the top rope. Let's find out if that's actually what took place.
Your winner, wrestling fans, Bulldog Bob Brown by disqualification. Time in that match, 12 minutes. Cousin Junior disqualified for throwing Bulldog over the top rope.
Right here's your dadgum winner. Yeah!
Wrestling fans, you've just seen one of the meanest wrestlers in professional wrestling today. I'm talking about the Central State Champion, Bulldog Bob Brown. That time, he was wrestling Cousin Junior at the Winnipeg Arena. You're going to see Bulldog Bob Brown August 27th, Winnipeg Arena, when he meets up with King Kong Bruiser Brody. Right now, let's take a look at a couple of interviews involving King Kong Bruiser Brody and Central State Champion Bulldog Bob Brown, being interviewed by announcer Rick Stewart.
When two wrestlers collide, two world-class wrestlers, a lot of things can happen in the ring. But when two particular men with a lot of animosity get together in the squared circle, you've got a feud like you've never seen before. Here's King Kong Bruiser Brody talking about the man he's going to meet at the Winnipeg Arena, Bulldog Bob Brown.
We're going to take a couple of minutes here to talk to King Kong Bruiser Brody. A lot of things been going on in your life the last couple of months, and frankly, the situation with the World's Heavyweight Championship. Bruiser, I thought you were going to be the world's champion. Out of the dressing room comes Bulldog Bob Brown, sticking his nose in one more time. It's like a repeat of what happened to Harley Race last year.
You know, let's not get confused here about the world's champion and Bulldog Bob Brown. You know, I've been coming back here to the Midwest now for maybe 2 or 3 months. And since I got here, now I always knew that me and Ric Flair, we was going to settle our differences in the ring. This is something that's been growing in Kansas City for maybe 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that's right.
But what I didn't expect when I got here this year was the fact that I was going to have to be nose to nose every week with Bulldog Bob Brown.
Yeah.
What I didn't expect was when it did come my chance, when it did come my opportunity to be the world's champion, that the one thing that would prevent that would be Bulldog Bob Brown. I don't think you expected that. I don't think the people here in the Midwest, I don't think anybody expected that Bulldog Bob Brown had the ability to prevent Bruiser Brody from being the world's champion.
Well, the thing that really kind of surprised me on that night, you know, if you think back, when I saw Harley Race come running down to ringside, you guys have wrestled each other before. I didn't really think you were the best of friends. I keep wondering, why did he come down to save you?
Well, in my mind, and you're right, Harley and I have had our differences, but in my mind, I think that deep down right in here, Harley had the same feeling that happened to him several months back.
Because he knew where you were at. He knew what was happening to you
right there. He had a chance to become the world's champion again. Right. And just when he was this close to being the world's champion again, Bulldog Bob Brown was there. So I think Harley, when he was watching me with the opportunity I had with the world champion, and Bulldog Bob Brown was there to prevent it, I think that Harley Race, being an emotional guy like he is, I think that he showed up partly because he had feeling for himself, but partly because he had feeling for Bruiser Brody too.
Now, this is kind of off the subject, but a lot of times, you know, people will ask me, if you ever see Bruiser Brody, ask him this: do you think there'll ever come a day when you'll strap that world's title around your waist and strut around as the world's champion?
I think the most important thing on my mind right now, and I'm not thinking about being the world's champion as I stand here right now.
It's not really, that's not the major goal for you.
No, right now I'm thinking about getting Bulldog Bob Brown and the NWA champion Ric Flair in the ring. Now, in my mind, if I could get them together in the ring,
right,
if I could go in the ring with someone who had the same beef that I got, like Harley Race does, and get in that ring somehow where we could guarantee the people looking at me right now that they was going to see Bulldog Bob Brown or Ric Flair get their butt beat, I think that that's what everybody wants to see, and I can honestly tell you that's number one on my mind right now.
Bruiser Brody's mind is set on you, Mr. Brown, August the 27th, the Winnipeg Arena.
Very touching. I'm sure they made all the old women in Winnipeg, Canada crying. Oh, please come to Winnipeg and do the number on Bulldog Bob Brown. Yeah, well, I'm coming to Winnipeg. I'm not coming to Winnipeg for a tea party. I'm not coming there for a party. I'm coming there for one purpose, and mine, Rick Stewart. Because I'm coming for the biggest brawl of my life, survival. Because you know, and I know, and everybody in the country knows what it's like to get in the ring with Bruiser Brody. We all know that the biggest crowd of the year is going to be there. We all know that the biggest crowd is going to roar him on to victory. But it's not that easy, Bruiser Brody, because I'm Bulldog Bob Brown, I'm the champion, and I've got to get defeated. And I'll tell you, if it takes Winnipeg to get it started, we might as well get it on, because I'm expecting the biggest brawl that I've ever had in professional wrestling right here at the Winnipeg Arena. Tell them what day it is.
August the 27th, the Winnipeg Arena. It's Bulldog Bob Brown and King Kong Bruiser Brody.
Wrestling fans, let's take a look at a clip of a recent match involving King Kong Bruiser Brody in action.
Going after it, look at this!
He's great flying to lock him up! He's got it! Flair's got the figure 4 leg lock on Bruiser Brody.
Tom Andrews asking Brody, have you had enough? Have you had enough? This is a submission hold.
And the sky's on Bruiser Brody. Wait! Stop! Bulldog Bob Brown has come down to ringside to cheer on his protege, Nature Boy Ric Flair.
I can't believe it. He should not be at ringside. And look at him, he's applauding.
Bruiser
He
Brody
thinks this is great.
trapped in the figure 4 leg lock. Brody trying to summon up his strength, trying to reverse this hold. This reversal invented by Terry Funk for just this occasion.
If he can turn him, he's got it. He did.
Bruiser Brody's reversed the figure 4. Flair managed to find his way out, but I don't know if any permanent damage may have been done to the knee of Ric Flair.
Both wrestlers are up. What do we have here? Looks like he's trying for a pile driver.
Brody,
But he can't do it.
Get back, Joe. The World's Heavyweight Championship on the line. And Nature Boy Ric Flair knows that this has got got to be the toughest test any man could possibly face.
Here's Flair up on that ring rope. But wait a minute. Brody's got him. He's got him. What's he going to do when he tosses him? Holy cow.
On Ric Flair. Brody's back in the corner.
Hey, this might be it.
The blade way. Wait a minute. Bob Brown is up on the ring apron. And Bruiser Brody trying to get to Bulldog Bob Brown. He threw something to Ric Flair.
I don't know what that is, but Flair has it in his right hand. I don't know what it is.
It made a noise like it could be a bag full of coins, some kind of metallic object.
Oh, he just hammered him with it. Whatever that was.
He caught Brody flush in the jaw with whatever it was. Brown threw to him. But
No.
Brody's up.
No. No.
Brody's up and Bob Brown is going berserk.
But Flair right back on top of him. They're pounding away. I don't know if that opened up a cut, but it appears that Flair's going right after it.
And again, the ominous presence of Bulldog Bob Brown here at ringside.
Pounding him. Against one ring turnbuckle. Another. Now just biting. He is just biting the forehead of Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Bruiser Brody has opened up a gash over the right eye of Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Oh, and that boot at size 11. Oh, and the champion is in trouble. The champion is in trouble. Brody, meanwhile, feeling the after effects of whatever that was. Brass knuckles, maybe a bag full of coins. I don't know what it was. Wrestling fans, August 27th, Winnipeg Arena, a night to remember. A card worth going out to see. Already signed on that card, Tomahawk Bruce Swan to meet up with Dennis Turner. Mighty Mo, one of the strongest wrestlers in professional wrestling today, to meet up with the Alaskan. Former light heavyweight champion of the world, Rock and Roll Buck Zumhoff, to meet up with the Outpatient. Chris Markoff to meet the master of the martial arts, Rick Ferrassi, in a grudge match. You know the bad blood brewing between these two. Rick Ferrassi performing his first theatrical martial arts demonstration inside the ring when all of a sudden Chris Markoff jumped up on the ring apron and brained Rick Ferrassi for no apparent reason. This is the reason for the grudge match. Rick Ferrassi wanted this match in the worst way. Chris Markoff agreed. Under the conditions, promoter Tony Condello allowed the French Mad Dog Peliquin to act as a special referee. It's signed Rick Ferrassi to meet up with a Russian Chris Markoff, special referee, the French Mad Dog Peliquin. Also in tag team action, you're going to see the Russian Krusher and the Terminator, the Rig. Eddie Sharkey in their corner when they meet up with the Miami Vice tag team. The main event, King Kong Bruiser Brody to meet up with a Central State champion, Bulldog Bob Brown. And let me tell you, wrestling fans, how promoter Tony Condello ever put this match together, I'll never know. But when these two tangle, it's going to be more than just your average wrestling match. It's going to be an all-out brawl. Winnipeg Arena, August 27th. The event, King Kong Bruiser Brody to meet up with a Central State champion, Bulldog Bob Brown. And let me tell you, wrestling fans, how promoter Tony Condello ever put this match together, I'll never know. But when these two